We are now already in video number 25, and as promised, this video is going to talk about bar graphs. So, before sampling a bar graph that I found over the net, uh, again, just going back to this illustration of how scoring is actually determined in the IELTS exam, and the scoring is actually dependent, based on physiological realities, that the mind is really made up of two hemispheres, and on the left side of the brain is really the linguistic components, and then on the right side are the semantic components. And so linguistic components refer to vocabularies and the grammatical rules, while the semantic components refer to your compliance with the task, as well as your ability to make the task unitary or singular. And so going back to the four attributes for task 1, please remember these very well. So for grammatical range, watch out for the tensing. For lexical resource, do not be caught by the nominal traps. For task achievement, we need to work on your clustering. And of course, for coherence and cohesion, don't forget the overview statement. So if you miss any one of these four, or if you perform any one of these four attributes wrongly, then that would result in a score under band 7 right away. That would be a 6.5 maximum. So let's see how these four attributes actually work. And what I have here is really quite a complicated bar graph. So what you see in the bar graph are figures, percentages of population in urban areas. So looking at each segment here, you can see that there are actually three bar graphs for each region of the world. So apparently, what we really need to do here is a cluster, because there's so much information to cite. And I can also see that all the figures reflect an upward trend. So whatever these figures mean, at the very least, we can see that everything is trending upwards. And that generally now forms the overview statement. We can see that all the figures reveal an increasing upward trend. And apart from that, we can also cite in the overview that it is these three areas over here which dominate the survey. And then the three other areas over here are relatively fewer or lower. So that should also be part of the overview statement. So we now have two overview statements. The first one citing the increasing trend, and the second one citing the fact that these three have the bigger of the trends. Let's now go deeper into the graph. We can see these regions like Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, Caribbean, and North America. So uh, what the figures actually show are population figures for these areas, and then you have the world figures over here. So the world figures indicate the averages. So generally the technique is, as regards to the cluster, maybe we can group these two together since they have the similar ranges, and then we can group these three together since they have the similar ranges. And then every time we describe either these three or these two, we are always describing them in comparison to the world figures. And now I'm looking at these colors, like this darker orange color, this maroon color, and this brownish color. So they actually represent years. So 1950, 2007, and 2030. So uh, what my mind is now telling me is that the tensing certainly is likewise important for this graph. So for the 1950 ranges, we will describe it using the past tense. For the 2007 figures, we can similarly describe this with the past tense and alternately the past perfect tense, like had risen, had climbed, had increased. And then as we go into the 2030 figures, we can now see that these the figures over here are projections. So we can either now use the simple future tense like will rise, will increase, or we can alternately use the future perfect tense like will have risen, or will have increased, or will have climbed. So that's for tensing. And then for the nominals, I can see world. So this is a nominal trapper over here. So what we should say is world figures or percentages as regards to global trends. So we can't just say world. It's a nominal trap. So Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, Caribbean is one of those regions which are all regions or countries which are always preceded by the. So make sure you have the for the Caribbean. And this rule actually applies only for a few countries or regions. So like the United States or the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, everything with the United in front of them as to be preceded by the. The Philippines is also a particularly important inclusion with that. The Bahamas, for example, or the Netherlands, but most countries do not have any article before them. Anyway, we will not be mentioning any country here. These are all regions, so that won't prove to be particularly important for this task. And then North America over there. So those are the nominals. And then let's look at these figures. These are also part of the nominals. So these are percentages. Make sure that you do not miss the percentage aspect. And in urban areas there. Alright. So apparently what the figures show are a percentage of the entire population of the particular regions who reside in urban areas. So I guess this is really a global trend. More and more people are flooding into cities. Population in the cities are growing. It's really a topic prompt that comes out a lot in IELTS Task 2 writing. So those are for the nominals. I think we've covered all the nominals here. Just make sure that you also cite the sources for these figures. World urbanization prospects. All right. And then that's it. We already have, so our tensing already is in the past, or the past perfect, and the simple future or the future perfect. And then the nominal traps, we just discussed that. And then the cluster, okay. The cluster, okay. So this is how I would cluster the data. So for example, I will cite first 1950 figures for these two. 15 and 17% in comparison to that there. That's the first cluster. And the second cluster would be grouping these three together, Europe, Latin America, and North America, in comparison to the world figures. So that's the first group of clusters. And then I'm now moving to 2007. The cluster is the same. I will just describe these two over here in comparison with the world figures. And then I will describe these three over here in comparison with the world figures. And finally, for the future ranges, I will now go ahead and describe the projected 51 and 54% figures for Africa and Asia and comparing that with the world figures. And I will end by comparing these three, grouping these three together in a cluster and comparing them with the world figures. That's gonna be how my cluster looks like. And so, just as I've stated earlier, from all that information, we can now glean two overview statements that more and more people are look at all these upward trends. Even Africa and Asia are seeing a noticeable skew where figures just jump higher, are expected to jump higher And that's the first of the overview. More and more people, so globally 60% of people are now residing in urban areas. That's going to be the first overview. And the second overview is that urban populations are most evident in three regions of the world: Europe, Latin America, North America, and less evident in Africa and Asia. So we can somehow see that these regions are more agricultural to a certain extent. All right, so those are that's how I would prepare for the this particular bar graph, and um, using the four attributes. And for the next video, video number 26, I will go ahead and type straight away without any more lessons. The lessons are already contained in this video. And before I close, I just like to show you another bar graph. So these are the countries with the most reported coronavirus cases as of April 11, 2020. So it's another complicated bar graph, a horizontal bar graph. But what's evident is the US is really far ahead compared to the other countries. And for every bar, you can see that there are blue, yellow, and red colors. So the US has indeed a lot of cases, and although the number of deaths are relatively fewer compared, for example, the recovered cases are fewer compared to the other countries like China, for example. And deaths are likewise significant compared to Spain or Italy. So there's a really big problem in the US. So this is how I would group them. I would cluster it accordingly. The US is to be mentioned separately. And then I will group Spain, Italy, France, and Germany in a cluster. And then I will mention China separately because its figures are quite unique with a lot of yellow over there. And I will cluster UK and Iran, and finally Turkey and Belgium. That's how I would cluster this particular bar graph. And the overview therefore states that the US outranks all the other countries in the world as regards to reported coronavirus cases. And the second overview I would cite is that China, despite having relatively fewer cases, actually is the only country with the most number of recovered cases over here. I would highlight the yellow. Those are just the two overview statements I would make for this particular bar graph. Tensing is going to be in the present tense, and then the nominal traps. So remember the US has the over there. Spain, Italy, France, Germany, China, no problem with these countries. And then the UK is always preceded by the. And then Iran, Turkey, and Belgium. So just watch out for the before the UK and the US. And then just watch out for these figures, 350,000 there. Alright, that's a part of the nominals. Okay, so you can see from this bar graph that the ability to read data, to cluster them, to spot the overview is really a very relevant skill, especially in this time of the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, everyone, so don't forget the architecture of language in the mind. I'll see you next video, video number 26, wherein I will go straight away and just type the essay. If there are any questions, don't forget to just comment in the comment boxes, and or just message me separately. And don't forget to click subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Bye.